My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And ODDSJAM. ODDSJAM.com has the fastest real-time data from all the sports books, and it helps you spot discrepancies and make sure that you hit your spots and get the best odds available for every single fight and every single sporting event. Check them out now at oddsjam.com. First up, at UFC Columbus, we have Luis Saldana taking on Bruno Souza. Luis Saldana is 15-7 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off the loss to Austin Lingo. Bruno Souza, 10-2 overall. He's also 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off a loss in his UFC debut. Luis Saldana is a very versatile striker, both offensively and defensively. He likes to fight on the outside, and his ability to move out of the way but still strike as he's doing that is really nice. He does have issues with wrestlers, but he's making adjustments, and he's now training with Henry Cejudo, so I have to imagine he's closing those wrestling gaps. Bruno Souza, Luis Saldana.
Oh.
Don't do
Sorry,
that
I was
again.
listening. No,
Don't do that
I was just
again.
listening.
Bruno Souza, you'll be off the show. I will put an
I didn't say. I said
application.
okay. I said okay. I didn't say anything.
I'll
You
get
said, "Don't do it
somebody
again."
with a better voice, less red hair.
I mean,
2 seconds.
It doesn't.
2
hey,
seconds.
It doesn't get better than this saw.
Okay.
Silky smooth.
Bruno Souza is coming off a short notice loss in his UFC debut, but he actually looked good in that fight. He would have won that fight if he just had a touch more offense, but his defense looked great. He has that karate style striking. I've compared him to Lyoto Machida in the past with how his stance and how he bounces in and out and how he fights. He does have very low hands. He does look to counter. He essentially hops way out of the way and then comes blasting right in with heavy counter shots. I was really high on Bruno Souza in his last fight, and I still am. That very specific striking style, people have had success with that, and he is pretty successful with that. And I think his style is a problem for a lot of people. The issue, though, is his volume. He just doesn't push a pace. He is 100% counter. Where Lyoto Machida had phenomenal counters, he still had offense. Where Bruno Souza just doesn't really let his hands go. If Luis Saldana comes charging forward, he just comes running in without setups, I think Luis is going to have issues because that's exactly where that counter-striking style thrives. He's running in, he's not paying attention, I step out, bang. So if he comes charging in, he may have some problems, but if he picks his shots well and still applies pressure, I think Luis Saldana is going to win a decision. Bruno's lack of urgency could lose him this fight the exact same way it lost him his last fight. I think this is a close fight, but it doesn't matter how high I am on Bruno Silva. I don't trust his offense. I'm going Luis Saldana in the opener, and I think these odds are spot on. -120, I think that's spot on. A slight favorite. What do you think, JK?
There's I think most of these fights, I feel like the odds are like really, really, really good. Even if it's a close matchup, they have it close. If it's wide, they have them wide. So I agree. I think these odds are spot on. I like Luis in this matchup. You mentioned Bruno. It really just is his volume that scares me to death because he's okay with being boring. He's not going to change. He's going to keep doing what he's doing. He's going to throw his little front kicks. He's going to do his little karate stuff. And Luis Saldana, I mean, the guy was on a 5-fight winning streak before his last fight, was dominating that first round. And it turns out, I think he broke his foot. He had some sort of foot injury at the end of that first round and really wasn't the same after that. He couldn't really keep up that pace, and he ended up losing that fight because of it. But I mean, he was on his way to dominate that fight. I love his ability, his confidence in the octagon, right? He's very loose in there. His hands are low. You know, sometimes that's a bad thing. Obviously, you could get caught. But in this matchup, I kind of like the way that he can be in and out with the karate guy, as you mentioned, not all in, all at once where you get countered with those heavy counters. So, you know, I like Luis Saldana. I like him because he can grapple as well if he needs to. He doesn't, rely on it. But there's an opportunity, with that front leg in front of you, you grab him, take him down, and win that round. So I like Luis Saldana in this matchup. I think it's close, but I just like his. I mean, it's his pressure more than anything, and it's not stupid pressure. It's smart pressure. He's a very confident fighter, and I also think he's going to chew up that front leg with leg kicks. That Bruno front leg, those karate stances, they're heavy on that front leg. I think Luis chews it up and then gets to pressure early. So.
Yeah, I sounds like we're pretty aligned here. Like I said, my one concern for Luis is if he does come charging in, that's exactly what that karate style is waiting for. Please attack me with reckless abandon and you'll get blasted. And, people in the comments are talking about some of the decisions that Bruno Souza has gone to. Yes, a loss, but went to a decision with a couple of really good fighters. But you go to a decision because he doesn't engage. So he's very defensively sound, even though it's so funny. I say how defensively sound he is. He has a negative striking differential. He lands 3 significant strikes per minute and gets hit with 5. But that's just one fight worth of data. And, so you can't really put too much on that. But so we both agree. Do you like Luis Saldana at $8,300 in DraftKings?
I don't think so, because those karate guys are hard to finish. It's hard to really land good shots on those guys the way they get out of at a striking range. Maybe if he grapples, maybe there's a weird submission threat, but I still don't like the $8,300, and I really hate the $7,900.
Yeah, I don't think $8,300. To me, it's right there in the line because I think Luis wins. That's 30 points right there for a win. You get a couple takedowns, which he's not a giant takedown guy, but if you got a couple takedowns or cage control, lands some strikes, he could be worth it. But I do imagine this is a pretty low-scoring fight on both sides. 75 strikes to 43. I think this is a less, even if it goes to a decision, because I think Bruno Souza is so technically sound, he will avoid a good amount of these strikes. And if his volume in this fight is anything like his last fight, he's not landing 43. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That 75 is pretty high because it takes some time to get used to those karate guys. I mean, even if you're training for it in training camp, it's still, when you're in front of them, it takes you a round or two to really get their the motion in the ocean there. So I'll probably play less.
Please don't. No. Okay. Anyway, that's for Monkey Knife Fight. If you don't know what that is daily fantasy. Go to WeWantPicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit. And essentially you go in there, you see these strike lines, you say more or less. And if you're right, you can triple your money, 25 times your money if you string a whole bunch of them together. It's a lot of fun. And if you want $50 free, I will Venmo you $50. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, whatever you want. Just go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners and make a deposit. You got to make a pretty good deposit, but I send you $50 as a thank you, and they'll match all your money and do those things as well.